scenes was a chase down scene in which the government operative and the dad the dad was being chased and he was held at gunpoint, but I dropped down in as Jason to save the day. And we just kind of wanted to put that out there as one thing of it not being based towards what's going on in a bad way, as more of a good way, if you like to think about it that way.
So yeah, I just put on the screen the chat that Bobby's talking about. So the problem was this is a black dude that has a gun pointing to his head, and so the crazy part is like when we did this, we talked about this film, goodness, back August of last year, and so nothing was really going on, with that kind of thing. I mean, there was, but it wasn't as in your face as it is right now, right?
Yeah.
And so we film it in January. We, do all the posts, do all the production stuff, and then we release it. What was that, like the middle of May, beginning of May or something like that? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, everything just explodes.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Yeah. And, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, somebody sees this. There's no context because Bobby just told you the backstory about what's going on in the scene. But if you just see this one image, what would you think when you see this? And so the question is it insensitive for us to have posted this, not knowing what was going to happen in a couple of weeks? Yeah. Or, was our reaction, what it should have been? Let me just throw that to you, Bobby. What do you think?
If I'm being quite honest, I truly think that, now thinking about everything in the concept, it was okay to post everything about it, of course. And I feel like if people actually go and watch it, they actually might enjoy it more than dislike what's going on in the scene based off of just seeing that one part. But if you keep watching past that, you get to see the good and not the bad out of the situation.
I agree. I think the context is super important. Of course, just looking at one image, you can't get the whole picture. But I think what's really great about this particular scene is, like you said, you do have somebody that comes and saves the dad in this in this situation, and then also because it's somebody that is, black, and I think that's super important as well. The operative, let me show the screen again. This guy, you can't tell what nationality he is just by looking at his wrist and his hand, but he's actually an Asian dude. And, does that matter? Because, we're all talking about, police brutality and police, all this other craziness. And, a lot of them are white, but does it really matter in the case of this context? And, for me, it was when I first heard the news, like when you told me that, honestly, I was a little bit frustrated. Honestly, not even frustrated. I was actually angry, not because of the reaction, because, it is what it is. People are going to react to it. But because I felt like I was being censored in a way, because like I said, we made this film like a while ago and it had nothing to do with anything. And we weren't even when we wrote the script, we weren't talking about any kind of social commentary. It wasn't like, oh, I want to put this up and, prove this point and have this, agenda push out there. And so it was a little frustrating, but in the same breath, I understood it because I am sensitive to what happened and I am sensitive to all the different things that we're experiencing right now. And so, it's one of those double-edged thing because, how can you sit there and not be sensitive to what's going on and the reaction and the emotions that go along with all the bad stuff that's happening in the world right now? Exactly. So let me ask you this, Bobby. Do you think that as artists and, you as an actor portraying this stuff, does that reflect negatively on you for being in a scene like this, in a movie like this, where you are showcasing the violent side of life?
Well, in my opinion, I think that overall, me bringing a character to life is to put a message on screen for people to see. And like I said, in the case of this scene, of course it wasn't intended, but now that it's been brought to light, it can be used as a situation to show that there are people that can be heroes in certain situations. And of course, this is sci-fi and everything like that. But at the same time, it's bringing something that actually is happening and showing something good out of it instead of something that's bad, or something bad could have happened in that situation, but of course it didn't, based off of the storyline. But just portraying this and it coming back at me and everything like that, I'm not ever offended about stuff like that, because of course, like I said, it's my character. It's what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to portray them. And so whenever I look at situations like this, I never think negatively of them. I just think about pushing forward and making sure that people get the message rather than seeing the bad out of it.
So, in your words, what is the message out of all of this?
Um, man, it's
I
it's
put you on
kind
the
of
spot, didn't I?
yeah, you did. But no, I think that all in all, the message that's being brought to it is that um, yeah, the situation is going on right now in the world, and we do need heroes, and we do need people to come to light. We need people that are willing to step up, because right now we don't have a leader that's leading and that's doing what they're supposed to be doing, as far as taking a stand and doing it the right way.
Okay.
And like I said, in this is a superhero standpoint, but at the same time, you can be saved. There can be a difference. There can be a change. And in the sense of this, the situation was prevented and he was saved. But of course, like I said, it's sci-fi. But at the same time, I feel like there's something that can always be brought out of a situation in a positive way.
I agree. I think that's one of the things that I like most about this particular story. Just want to throw it out to Colin. Thanks for the comment, dude. He's saying that it's not insensitive. Films like this are important. Even if there's nothing going on, people would still be upset. I agree with that. Somebody's always going to have something to say, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Kubrick made A Clockwork. Dude, when I first saw that film, A Clockwork Orange, I was disturbed, like incredibly disturbed. I actually didn't like that film. And I know that's, sacrilegious for me to say, since I'm a director and, Kubrick is like, one of the greats, but I was just like, I can't get behind this one. Have you seen that film?
I have not. I have not.
Okay. It is
Yeah.
definitely well before your time. It's before my time even. But of course, being in film school, I had to, watch it and everything. But, ooh, I'm just going to say, that's all I'm going to say about it. Ooh. But going back to Ulterior, one of the things that I like about the film is that it shows that that you can be a hero, even if you're not sure of yourself. That's one of the things that Bobby's character, Jason, is going through. He has no idea how to deal with the abilities that he has. He's taking the audience with him in the sense where he's figuring it out along with us. And so we get to see what that is like. But in the same breath, he's like, hey, I got to go do this. I got to go fix this. Whatever this is that's going on in my mind that I can see, I got to go save. I got to go help as much as I can. And I think that's an important message. That's the message that I got. That's one of the things that I really wanted to focus on when we created the script, is showing that, people, yeah, this guy has superhuman powers, and, that's part of the fantasy realm of this film. But in general, just the fact that he wasn't sure of himself and he didn't know how he could help, but he felt like he had to. And that's super important, because especially in this day and age when there's so much, just so much bad,
Yeah.
we're all asking, how can we help? How can we change? How can we make this better? And we don't always have the answer. We don't always think that we can do something, but as long as we're doing, a little bit of something is better than nothing. And that's the point that I was making with this particular scene.
Mm-hmm.
So